This video continues Access Module 1, specifically looking at creating a database, creating a table, creating primary keys, relating to tables, and entering and editing data. I'm going to open a database or create a database from scratch by going to the Start menu and selecting Access. I'm going to choose Blank Database. I'm going to call this database Practice, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. It's telling me I already have one. Yes, I want to replace it. Okay, so here is our blank database, and it opens up automatically to a table. The first thing I want to do is make sure that I'm in Design View. I'm currently in Datasheet View. I want to be in Design View. It asks me right away to name the table. I'm going to name this Customers. And I'm going to begin creating the fields. It automatically starts us with an ID number. And I'm just using my arrow key to move through these. I'm going to assign first name, last name, phone, and birth date. Okay. Now your text does not address this right away, but I want to. I think it's a good time to. And that is the data type. The ID number defaults to auto number, and we want to leave it at that. What that means is that when we create a new record, it will automatically number the ID number sequentially with the next number to come along. The first name is indeed short text. The last name is short text. The phone number, that's a little tricky one. You might think that it should be number. However, because we want it to be represented with hyphens in it or periods in it the way we typically see a phone number, we're going to leave that one on text. And finally, the birth date we're going to format as date-time format. Now, one additional thing we can do, and again, your book does not address this at this time, but I'm going to, we can create input masks for the phone number and the birth date. So for the phone number, we can look down here to input mask, and we can give it a format that we want our text to appear in. And for a phone number, we're going to specify number, hyphen, number, hyphen, and 4 more numbers. So the standard phone number format. Okay. For the date, we're also going to have an input mask there of number or month slash two numbered or 2-digit date, and then 4 digits for the year. Okay, so we've just imposed some guidelines on what kind of on how the data is input. So now that we have created our fields and set up our data types, let's switch over to Datasheet view. Anytime you go to switch, it's going to ask you if you want to save your work. And we can begin entering records. Now I'm not typing those hyphens because I gave it that format. It automatically does that for me. Same thing with birth date. When I enter the date, I'm just going to enter the digits. Okay. And we can continue on in that manner, adding names. I was trying to type hyphens and it didn't want me to. Okay, so, and you'll notice as I return at the end of each of these, it automatically creates that sequential ID number. Okay. So now we have our customer table. Let's go ahead and create another table. We're going to go up here to the Create tab, and we're going to create a table by going to Table Design and just simply beginning to enter the records that we want, or the types of records that we want in this one. This is going to be a comment table, so our customers from time to time leave some comments. So we're going to set up our table with comment ID, comment, text, comment date, and customer ID of the customer that left that comment for us. Again, let's go ahead and set these up. This is going to be an auto number, the comment ID. Comment text is indeed short text. Now we're going to go ahead and go long text on this. Okay. Comment date is going to be a date and time format. And customer ID is a number. Okay. Let's set up our date and time formats. And let's switch now to Datasheet view. We're going to save. We're going to give it a name. Comments. Okay. And it's asking us if we want to define a primary key. At this time, no, we don't want to. Okay. So let's go ahead and enter a few records here. Comment. Interested in working at Parade. Okay. The comment date. And the customer ID. Let's enter one more. Let's say has background in parade work. The comment date. Okay, so now we have our customer table, our comments table, and in each of those we have a few records. Okay, next let's look at creating a primary key. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to close this one. And let's take a look now. Our customer record has a primary key. We can see that by this little key, this little gold box with the key in it on the ID number. But remember, we declined to add a primary key here on our comments tab, but we're going to go ahead and do that now. Let's say we declined to do it, and for some reason we changed our mind, and now we want to add that primary key. So we'll do that simply by clicking on primary key, and now it has one. And we'll learn later exactly what a primary key is and why we would impose one. Okay, that's creating a primary key. Let's close these again. And in reality, you wouldn't necessarily close these every time we were going to do something new, but just for the sake of demonstration, that's what we're doing. Okay, we're going to look now at relating to tables. So we're going to go up here to our database tools and to our relationships button. And here are the tables that we have, right? Customers And we want to relate these two tables. So customers, I'm double-clicking it. Comments, I'm double-clicking it. And now that I have them both, I can close this. And let's think about the relationship. How would we relate these? What do they have in common? The ID number, right? The customer ID exists here, and the customer ID exists in the comment table. So we're simply going to click there and drag over here. And we can see it's giving us the relationship to link the ID from the customer table with the customer ID from the comment table. And that is what we want to do. But before we do it, we also want to click on Enforce Referential Integrity. What that does is prohibits us from creating a comment using a customer ID that does not exist in the customer table. And if we think about it, that makes sense, right? A customer that doesn't exist can't leave a comment. Okay, so we're going to enforce referential integrity, and then we're going to create our link. And what we see here is a one-to-many relationship. One customer ID number can be linked to many customer ID comments. And that makes sense. One customer can leave many comments. Okay, one comment cannot be left by many customers. So that's why we have a one over here, one customer to many comments. So that's a quick look at relating tables, creating a relationship between the two. And finally, we're going to look at, well, I guess we kind of already did, look at entering data and editing data. Let's go back to our customers table. And if we wanted to enter a new record, I'm just arrowing down and then I'm tabbing over and I can begin entering a record. And we're not required to enter every piece of information. So we're just going to pretend we don't have Sandra's birth date. Let's add one more. Okay. So that's how we enter data. We can edit our data by selecting it and typing over it. It's that simple. So we've looked at creating a database, creating a table, linking our records, creating primary keys, and entering and editing data. That concludes Module 1.